r/askreddit, what is denied by many people but it is actually 100% real? Aside from psychopaths, there are no good people or bad people, there are just people, and all people act in selfish ways bound by only social behaviors, norms, etc. No human who ever lived consistently and in all cases acts benevolently. And we all retroactively justify our actions in our minds to convince ourselves we are a good person. Even some of the worst humans in history felt like they were doing the right thing. You can love someone else without loving yourself first. There's plenty of parents that hate themselves and love their kids. I'm not recommending it, but it's a stupid thing to deny. You don't know how to fight unless you've been trained or have experience in fighting. Most people imagine themselves beating ass only to have reality smash them in the nose. A lot of people even injure themselves just trying to throw punches. That shark attacks are extremely rare. Can we get a shout out for cougars too? They've killed 27 people since 1868, you could almost call them harmless with those numbers. Autism diagnoses. Myself and lots of autistic people I know are often told by people who seem to base their entire knowledge of autism off the movie Rain Man, are like, but you don't seem autistic. Everyone is susceptible to propaganda, even if you are aware you are looking at propaganda. That the CIA trafficked cocaine into the United States in the 1970s/1980s to fund Central American freedom fighters, stop communism, and protect the American way of life. Once people realized the government was responsible for the drug epidemic that destroyed our inner cities for decades, it's not that hard to start questioning other decisions they have made. r/askreddit. What is perfectly legal, but creepy as hell? Dating freshly turned 18-year-olds when you're way older. Just because it's the age of consent doesn't make you less of a creep, they were literally still considered children a few months prior. Exploiting your kids for fame on social media. Divorce lawyer here. People fighting like mad to get the dog in the divorce and then turning it over to a shelter out of spite. Lawyer here, I once had a client drink another person's unflushed pee from a public toilet. The judge clearly hated that he had to dismiss my client's case. Smelling a seat when someone stands up. In some places it's totally legal to eat human flesh and buy human leather. If you are on a public sidewalk, you can film through people's windows into their house. There is no expectation to privacy for anything that can be viewed from a public space. If you want the inside of your home truly private, close your windows. r/askreddit, men who gave up on dating, what happened? I just lived the single life, I failed in the relationships I had a real chance with due to my myriad of mental issues I now work to manage. Issue is I am getting old and the dating pool just shrinks fast after a certain age, so now I just retired from trying while working on keeping my mental problems from controlling my life. In a way it is liberating, I don't have to try for anyone except myself, so anything I put real effort into is solely for my own enjoyment. Dating apps suck. People don't want to get to know each other on them, they want to be entertained. Hello and I see you are considered boring. Meeting people IRL becomes difficult when you work nights and weekends. I was broken up with by the love of my life a little over a year ago, a relationship of which I thought it would last a lifetime. Don't have the motivation anymore. Don't really care about anything anymore, to be honest, lol. Every time I did, I got cheated on. Self-pity and comfort food led to size increases. I am having trouble shaking, which has led to me having trouble connecting or getting past the first date when I have tried. Dating is just emotionally traumatizing lately. I matched with this girl who lived out of state. But there was an instant connection. We texted and called for hours every single day for 2.5 months. She even FaceTimed, introduced me to her best friends. One day she just unadds me from Snapchat and starts slowly ghosting me. When I asked if she was okay, she sends me a "we should just be friends" days later. I really fell for this girl and she was supposedly falling for me too. And that wasn't even the first time something like that has happened. If I can keep doing this, boys. The more I interact with women in relationship dynamics, the less I viewed women because of the way they treated me. Their bias towards men was starting to justify me having and believing in bias towards them. Also was tired of getting hit and being pressured to accept compromises I should have never accepted. I still don't understand why violence and sexual assault against men is still acceptable. Beyond 30 to 35, the dating pool shrinks to the ugly and the crazy, in general, not as in 100% always. And to those who desperately want to get pregnant, not that this is a bad thing, but it's likely that they are not necessarily interested in you as a person. Mission accomplished, divorce incoming, pay for the rest of your life. No, you won't get the kids. Beyond 50 plus you have to be really lucky to get anyone decent, that is for all sexes. And with sexual desires somewhat slowing down, you eventually stop bothering and live your life on your own. r/ask Reddit, what is the worst response to nudes? My hubby likes to send me dick pics when he is in the mood. One night we are sitting across from each other in the living room when he sends me a dick pic. I glance up and see him grinning ear to ear but not making eye contact. I pretend to not notice yet, and after a few moments reply, "Does your wife know you are sending pictures like this to your boss?" I knew as soon as he clicked on the message he would be able to see that it was from me, but for a few moments I watched as my message popped up in his notification tray and his face drained of all red. He stared at the notification for like 15 seconds and then looked up at me with the most horrified face and just said, "Oh no." Then I started laughing. Anyways, something like that, but not a prank. A friend of mine tried to send me nudes once. She knew I thought she was hot, but had no intention of ever actually sleeping with me. I think she got off on people wanting her. I dunno, she was weird. Anyway, I didn't actually receive those nudes. The next time I saw her, she was pissed at me. She was saying how I was being a dick and clearly just joking. I had no idea what she was talking about. She showed me her phone. Turns out she put in the wrong area code. The response she got was wrong number also. This means that when I had hit on her nearly a year prior, she kept the napkin I had written my number on, but never put it in her phone. I remember reading a news story about a karate teacher, female, sending nudes to an 11-year-old student, male, with the message "I want to have sex with you," and he responded with "Okay IDC." Probably among the better responses given the criminality of the situation, but I've always thought it must have been devastating to send your nudes and get "Okay IDC" in response. There's a blind lady on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or something that gets sent dick pics a lot. She was saying how it's pointless because she doesn't see them, but she gets the images read to her by an app. One image reading was possibly man's head and a mushroom growing out of the ground or something close to that. Imagine receiving a "Why the Shroom" pic after sending a nude. It would be enough to make anyone's little dude shrivel up and die right then and there. I once had a girl complain about her ugly roast beef pussy to me. She was told by some guy it wasn't attractive. If offered to give her a subjective opinion on it, so she sent a pic of the neatest, tittiest trim labia I had ever seen. Clearly it was a ham wrap and not a roast beef sandwich. For the record, all labia styles are lovely and wonderful. I let her know her lady labia was conventionally attractive and not at all ugly in any sense of the word, and that said fella was likely negging her. Then she got mad that I was giving her a clinical, subjective opinion and not jerking off to her. I was so put off by her attitude, I deleted the labia pic and jerked off to her sister. I once gave a girl on Reddit advice and confidence on how to ask a guy out. She did, but she got rejected. She came back to me and sent an unsolicited nude, and to be honest, she was really not my type. I made a joke and said you should have sent that to him, but she brushed it off and said feel free to also share. I just responded with "I have a girlfriend." I do not have a girlfriend.